All right, welcome to the studio. We're talking about this creative center of the universe, or at least my creative universe, anyway. So, we are here to talk about stories. Every movie is a story. Every television series is a story. You know, it's funny. We years ago we watched that series, Lost, on television. We didn't watch it when it came out, but somewhere in the last 5 or 6 years, we watched the whole series over a period of months, I guess, 6 seasons, and there was a story there, right? Airplane crash on the island. The island's weird, all kinds of magnetic activity, time travel, good and evil, the heart of the island. You know, if you've seen it, you know what I mean. And the thing that keeps us involved and engaged is stories. And we end up rooting for people, you know, different relationships form, and you know, this girl and that guy and these different people, and there's the good guys and the bad guys and all that stuff. All right. Whether you saw that series Lost or not, there are other series that are just like that. There are characters, they play certain roles. There's the heroes, the leaders, there's the bad guys, the dramatic tension. You know what makes a good story. So let's talk about other stories. Myths, legends, religious truths, the creation story. All those things are told in stories. When Jesus was on the earth, he taught in stories, parables they called them, stories with a moral and a deeper meaning. All kinds of koan in Zen Buddhism, the kind of what's the sound of one hand clapping, and those kinds of things that make you think. They have a point, they have a meaning. They can have several meanings. People see different movies or read different books and come away with completely different things. So I'm not just saying this to hear my head rattle. You know what stories are and what they do. What I want to talk about is your story. Now, right this moment, you are where you are in life. You make however much money you make. You live in whatever city you have the relationship you have, or you live alone. You have kids or you don't, grandkids or you don't. Maybe you still live at home or you're out on your own. Maybe you're in the hospital and you've had a series of really difficult illnesses. Or maybe you've made tremendous financial gains and you make a boatload of money. I got a friend who's a crypto genius and he knows more about the blockchain than everybody else I know put together. And, he teaches and he makes money, invests in it, mines Bitcoin. And, that's a story. How his life story is really interesting. Extreme winter sports and all kinds of other stuff. The story about a person or a thing or a monument or a building or a book or anything, that the story is what's interesting. So I've got a painting hanging on the wall over there. It's a big one, 48 by 36, fairly big. And I painted it. And I wouldn't consider myself a pro by any stretch. I've sold some paintings, but this particular one is got a story. There's a shaft of light coming down and it goes through a black circle and pours gold out, transmuting light into gold. And right in the middle, the ring of power in the middle, there's a flash of light. So there's a story about that. Now, what I want to talk about today is your story. Because like I said, you live where you live, you make the money you have, you do what you do for work, you make, maybe you paint, maybe you deliver pizza, maybe you're a sculptor, maybe you're an author, maybe you're a doctor, maybe you're an engineer. That's not the story I'm most interested in. I mean the story of your life. Like when we're born, we're kind of a blank slate. We're helpless. We need to be taken care of. Hopefully we had at least a quasi-decent, taking care of. And it's funny, every person that I know, nearly, not every, but 80% or more of the people that I know have significant negative memories of growing up. Some of them have just a few, and some of them have a ton. I saw an Instagram or a story. You know how they have those stories? I think it's on the gram, or maybe it was on Facebook. I don't know, but they had little tiny things at the top, meaning there's about 20 segments. And the person telling that story was just going on and on and on and on in each little segment about the awfulness of their upbringing and the awfulness of their parents and how their parents treated them so awfully. What struck me as interesting is I don't doubt that it's true. Okay, I don't know. But they went on for 20 little segments railing on how awful it was. That's not very interesting. What's really interesting in the story, and this is like Joseph Campbell's The Hero's Journey, is when the struggle happens, what do? What is the learning? What is the rising up? Difficult things happen to us, and they can ruin us or they can refine us, or both. Sometimes that's certainly true for me. A lot of things happened to me and I ruined me, and I had all kinds of difficult consequences until I learned about forgiveness, and I learned how to allow those things to refine me. Now, that event happens at different times. Mine didn't start till way later in life. And maybe that person that was, reminiscing on their negative upbringing in a year or 2 or 10 will allow those same things to refine them and make them more loving and kind. Who knows? But that'll play out. What I want to ask you is this. There's no doubt you have a story. There's also no doubt that your story is valuable. Now, maybe it won't get made into a movie. Maybe you're not going to write a book about it, but it's valuable. It's valuable in at least 3 ways. Hear me. I want you to pay attention to this. Your story, your life story from back when you were born to this moment is really valuable for at least 3 things. It has brought you, that chain of events has brought you where you are right now. And right here where you are right now is exactly where you should be, with all of your beauty, with all of your perceived flaws, with all of your genius, talents, capability. Your story has brought you there. Also, that's thing number 1. Thing number 2 is there are people in the world right now, not a few, not 10, not 100, but millions of people, if we could talk to all 8 billion, who would appreciate and be fascinated by the ups and the downs, the victories and defeats, the nuances and all that, who would, of your story. They would want to hear it. They would listen to you talk about the twists and turns of your life, particularly if you came out the other side of the difficulties and created some victory. If you had in the 70s, I don't know why, but there was a trend in movie making where the movies just ended on these horrible scenes. Nothing was resolved, and it was kind of bleh. I remember one movie in particular where, the end of the movie was just a dead guy sitting on the road, and there was no resolution, and it was sort of a reflection on the hopelessness of life. That's not very interesting. But you're still kicking and breathing, and so am I. And so your story brought you where you are right now. Number 2, it is valuable to some group of people if you shared it. Number 3, because of the internet, the ease of publishing and all of the things that there are now, it's easy to create something with your story, a book, a course, a movie. All those things are creatable. I've got a friend right now that's getting a movie made out of their life. And I didn't ever expect that to happen. Someone's asked me about making a movie out of my life. Never in any universe would I have thought that would have happened. It's easier today than ever before. So you have a story. It is valuable, and you can create money and impact with your story. Those things are non-negotiable. They are simply true. Now, the question for you and for me that came up for me as I thought about my own life and story is, what do you want to do with those truths? You have a story, you could use it to make a difference for people in a good way, and you can make money with it. Do you want to? If you want to make a difference, I get a chance to meet so many people, 2 today, brand new people. And they told me stories about themselves because I dig in and I ask. And it became clear to me in a heartbeat that they had powerful stories and they were yearning to use them to make an impact and also to make a living. Wow. That feeling seems to just be pouring out of the sky on so many people. You can make, and so that I titled this today, Tell Your Story, Make an Impact. If you want to do that, if you want to tell the story of your life. You want to organize it, not as a random bunch of events, but you want to organize it, draw out the nuggets, and tell the story in a way that is powerful, that is captivating, and use it to make both income and an impact, meaning make a difference, be of service, help people, teach something. If you want to do that, then I've got something for you. Here's a URL. Now listen carefully. Dream, build, write it. Dream, build, write it. One more time. Dream, build, write it.com. Dreambuildwriteit.com. Go there. On the 12th of November, in 2 weeks from yesterday, I'm going to hold a challenge for that week, 5 days. And it's not going to cost any money, because this is not, this is about helping you realize that the set of experiences you've been through are valuable, not just for you, because they brought you where you are, but for others that you can share them with. Now, maybe you don't care, but lots of the people, the majority of people that I have in my circles are people who yearn to serve. We're sort of born with this feeling that we want to help others. And the best tool we have to do that is our life story, the journey you've been on, the hardships, the challenges, the setbacks, the failures, the betrayals. And when you combine your skills and you combine your gifts and you combine the learnings from your life experience with the technology and the reach that's available today to create a book, create a course, create a keynote speech. You can reach everybody in the world. You can do so much good. And you can make a fun, nice, joyful living. Now, there used to be surveys that said 85% of people didn't like their jobs. You know what? You can create your own. You can do what you love, make a difference, and make money. I know I do it. I know lots of people that do it. I didn't think I could. I was one of those people, maybe like you, that said, oh, yeah, good for some people, but no way. It's so much fun. I love it. I get to make a difference for people all over the world. I get paid well, and I can't think of anything more fun. So go there, dreambuildwriteit.com. Dreambuildwriteit.com. Join us for the challenge and learn. There's a process. It's not an accident. It doesn't happen by itself. You can turn your life story, the experiences that you've had and learned from, with your skills and gifts, you can turn that into a gold mine for you and something of great service and value for others. I promise. Dreambuildwriteit.com. Now, I have one other invitation for you, and that's the URL that's on the screen, KellanFlukigerMedia.com. The reason I would send you there is it tells you everything that we're about. This year, my goal is to reach 300 million people. That's a big flipping number. 300 million people, and do what? To help you understand your own power, your capability, how you can make money, make an impact, and have a joyful life. I call it your ultimate life. Purpose, prosperity, and joy. It's within your reach. You can laugh all you want. You can tell me I'm crazy. That's fine. And then you'll miss out. If you go there, Kellan Flukiger Media, you'll see all kinds of things that we're up to, ways to help you do just that, to take control of your life, to do things you love, to make the difference you want to make. I don't care how many times you've tried. I don't care how stuck you feel. There's a way. There's a way. You're invited. You're invited to the party. Can't wait to see you. We'll see you in the challenge. Dreambuildwriteit.com and go to the URL on the screen, KellanFlukigerMedia.com. See what else we're up to. I'll see you tomorrow.